Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am your host, Teresa Romer, and I've got my buddy Maz on with me today. How are you, Maz?
Hey Teresa, how are you?
I'm great. How have you been?
I've been okay. I've been okay. It's been a bumpy summer, but I've been okay. How have you?
Oh, those bumps in the road are just supposed to help make us stronger, right?
Oh God damn it! Yeah, you're
I always used to tell my mother, because she used to say, oh, you got to get broad shoulders because you got to carry a lot. And I'm like, well, good God. I mean, like, I've got some pretty broad shoulders then because I'm carrying a ton of crap.
yeah. My shoulders have dropped from but such is life, you know. Every day's a blessing.
Yes, yes. So, on a more serious note, I'd really like to talk about something that's been in the news lately, and it's really been on my mind, and I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds here in the world. The topic of transgenders in the military. This is a hot topic right now.
Oh yeah, very controversial topic.
Very, very. I mean, I can remember years ago when it was the real controversial topic was, do we allow gays in the military? And now it's gone even farther than that now to transgenders. And, I'd like to pick your brain a little bit and see what your thoughts are on the topic.
Well, basically, I think the bill that was already put it in the no say policy is going to be reversed, and I think that gays in the military are included under that as well. But yeah, I believe that it was specifically um, at the transgender community first. But little do they know that Gays in the Military Act is also under there as well. However, being gay in the military is something that you can hide properly, rather than being transgender in the army. And I am totally for it. I don't know about you, but I think whoever person is out there protecting us from bad guys, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of confused over the whole thing, I guess, because yes, on one leg, I'm very much for it because if you're willing to put your life on the line to protect us from evil and the bad people, I'm all for it. Hallelujah, kudos to you. But on the other hand, and the other leg, I'm kind of confused because if I personally was in the military, and there was, say, a man that has decided now to be a woman, I don't know. I mean, like, and they're going to be undressing with me, and they're going to be. I don't know. I'm just kind of
I
confused
don't.
over the whole thing. And I love transgender people. I have a ton of transgender friends, um, but I don't undress with them. I don't sleep near them. I don't know. I'm just kind of confused over the whole thing. Maybe I need more investigating to figure it all out. I don't know.
Well, first of all, I don't think that anyone that has not gone through a full transition is allowed to be undressing with the opposite sex in the army or in any other circumstance out there. Um,
But how do you know that?
I they they're supposed to show a document before the army. I believe that they're supposed to wait a period of time for the hormonal transitions to kick in and some of the other procedures before that they can do all of that. But the thing is that supposedly the quote that's been said is that they're trying to cut funds for the transgender transitional periods in the army. The question is, well, the fact is here, transgenders do not have a budget in the army for going under procedures. There's no such budget. If there is, they're under their own medical insurance. However, I'll tell you one thing is that around 70 to 80% more people in the army are paying for Viagra than they are for transgender people. So that's something I don't understand.
Now that's interesting.
You know, and I had a topic about this with someone else the other day, and they said, "Oh yeah, but there's so many." You know, my accountant's wife, um, full bred Republican, and she said, "No, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I think that um, transgender should not be doing anything. I think that either a man or a woman should be." And I questioned her. I said, "Well, why do you think that?" She said, "Well, because they keep raping people."
Mm,
That that's you know, my teenage daughter was in this conversation,
right,
and then she took over it. Uh, very bad stereotype. Mostly the religious people, and I think that is a disgrace. I think it is a sad part in an educated person's mind to affiliate such ridiculous uh, connections of rape and assault and a million other different things with the transgender community being in the army. Because I can tell you one thing, the the staggering cases of rape being reported in a heterosexual community in the army, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, is much higher than anything that is there with transgender people.
right, right. Totally agree on that. Totally agree on that.
So when she said that, that really threw us all off, saying what she did, because you know, sometimes you question yourself, where do people get these topics from, these responses, these, you know, facts that they think are true statements. Uh, and that's one thing that kind of baffled me, is because um, they don't, you know, the way she was speaking is as if a transgender person was a person with leprosy walking around in our U.S. Army, uh,
Right,
trying to infect people with it.
right,
Let me tell you one thing, Teresa. You know that we're in the web development, and we have a lot of we have two transgender celebrities as our clients that we're very proud of, very fond of, that are extremely active in the LGBTQ community. And I think that I have been blessed to have uh, my mind opened in this topic to understand the journey that a transgender person goes through is not an easy one.
right, right, right. I agree. I agree. And I think that's really what I think is happening here is, you know, I relate it back to years and years ago when HIV became, you know, and AIDS became a big thing, you know, back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And I remember, you know, so many people were scared of HIV and AIDS because they thought if they were just near someone, they were going to catch it, you know, and so there was this big phobia. And until people really opened their minds and allowed themselves to learn about it, they, you know, there was just this phobia. And I think that's the same thing with transgender now, is a lot of people think if they're just even standing near one, it's just like, it's just this big phobia thing or something. And I think they just have to open their minds and let themselves learn about the transgender process and what these people go through mentally and physically.
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you one thing. From what I've seen, what a transgender person goes through in a transition and previous, you know, mental ups and downs with families, friends, environment, society, that's one hell of a fight. And if a person that goes through that is so tough enough that wants to protect me, my family, and this country, my God, they deserve my respect. I
Exactly,
I
exactly.
don't care what they are. I don't care if it's a woman, if it's a man. I I really don't care. Just the fact that that person is putting their life on the line to protect our country, I think is more than enough for me to accept the situation.
Right. You know, and if you've ever spent any time around someone, whether it be a veteran or somebody that's still active, if you've ever been around someone that's actually been over in Afghanistan and they've been on the battlegrounds, I'm telling you what, you have to have the utmost respect for that person. I mean, I recently have gotten really close to someone that just came out of the military, and he's disabled now because of it. But to hear the stories of what they go through and what, I mean, can you imagine just being on a battleground and fearing for your life, but yet still getting yourself put out there so that you can protect your country? It's just, it's amazing. And if someone that's a transgender is wanting to do that, I mean, hallelujah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, that's courage beyond. I just, you know, we live here in a wonderful, peaceful country, and we don't even have a clue of what these people have to go through in the military.
In order for us to live in that peaceful country.
Exactly, exactly. And so,
to have a bill reversed from someone that has not joined the army because they've had bone spurs in their feet, who's been drafted out of the army, to stop the ways of such courageous people trying to protect this country, trying to put their their life on the line for us. I think it's just, I don't know, it just baffles my mind. I'm totally against this. And
I would like to personally challenge anyone out there. I would like to personally challenge anyone that's against this, to sit down with someone that has fought over in Afghanistan. And I would almost bet that within the hour of them learning more about Afghanistan and what that person went through and how terrified they were, and what they've come home to afterwards, whether they're missing arms or legs or, you know, whatever. I mean, like, I just, to be able to put yourself out there and serve your country and fight for freedom and peacefulness. I don't care if you're transgender, gay, straight. I don't care. I mean,
exactly. And let me tell you one thing. We did a lot of reports for our clients this when this topic came up, and we had to do a lot of internet research for them. And I can tell you one thing: I have seen the most handsome men in the military that were transgender, and I could tell you they were 10 times more handsome than me and any guy out there. Um, and you look at the regular guy, he's not that in shape as a transgender army soldier, or vice versa. I mean, I personally didn't even know that we had Navy SEALs that were transgender.
Really, I didn't know that.
So absolutely, and you know, we all know what a Navy SEAL is. So it's just to be a Navy SEAL is one in anyone's career, being in the armed forces. We've had a lot of, and we still do have a lot of people that could fall apart from this bill, because we're talking about brigades and battalions and in every location of the world that include doctors, physicians, soldiers, commanders, chiefs, engineers, you name it. The transgender community is in it. So if this is taken out, everything is going to fall apart. A lot of things are going to fall apart. And I don't think we can afford that.
So you're saying basically the general public, or even people in Washington, haven't really done their homework to see exactly how many transgender people are actually serving in the military.
Oh, and of course not. They have not done their homework. I can tell you, we work for 2 transgender celebrities, and we've done our homework. And I can tell you, if they're taken out, our whole entire department, and it would not be an easy replacement, because they have very high rankings in the military. we're stationed almost around this world.
Right.
So uh, to bring up such a topic and to play with it is just um, it's just mind baffling. I don't know what to say.
Right. So you yourself, your company has two transgender celebrities, which I know one of them.
Yep.
But do you know any transgender people in the military personally?
I do not.
Yeah.
I do not. But we did a lot of research through the ones that we did have interviews of that we're posting, for our clients.
Hmm.
Um, and I can tell you, it was an amazing journey to read how their positions in the army, uh, looking at their pictures, their experiences, what they've offered to this country, um, and having their human rights taken away. I think it's a sad situation.
Right, right. So I would guess then the takeaway here would be maybe the general public and people in Washington need to do more investigating, more homework, and dig into this a little more before they cast their vote, or I mean, like, seriously, I mean, like you said, you did a lot of investigating. You guys did a lot of homework, and you've come up with a conclusion that maybe you didn't have in the beginning because you didn't know what you know.
Well, absolutely. I'm a person. I just have this attitude. I don't open my mouth until I don't know about it. But second of all, even before us looking further into this, while we were doing a part of our job, was who am I to judge anybody? Who am I to decide that religion goes over politics? Who am I to take away anyone's human rights um, in society? You question yourself all these things.
Sure.
Why we're sitting here talking about fanatical Muslims, yet in our own country we're doing what's worse right now. We're all turning into fanatic Christians and deciding the rights of other people and considering it being against the Bible. So um, I don't know. It's a very sensitive topic. Um, I know that many people that I've um, seen through the past few weeks in regards to this topic, it's a very emotional topic as well because some are against it, which I've realized are mostly the very fanatical Republican Christians that I've spoken to, which include my friends, my colleagues, people that I know, and then the other ones are just the non-conservative, open-minded people that I know. I can tell you, I was one of those. I was a very conservative guy. Um, I opened up to a lot of things as I grew, and I think that no one is in any position to decide and take the rights of another human.
Right, right. I
Uh,
totally agree. And this whole transgender thing with the army, or the military, it goes back to, transgenders in the bathrooms, the bathroom bill that's out there, what people want to tear that down too. So I don't know.
Teresa, I think that people are mostly confused about this situation. I mean, yes, we have crazy transvestites walking around sick people, dressing up and trying to do sexual pleasures with innocent people. Yes, that's a different story. There's a lot of cuckoo and psychos out there. But when we're talking about transgender people going through a transition, through an emotional journey in their lives, and finding that safe zone in society and in their world, um, I can tell you, I've been around the LGBT community through my clients. I think it's such an amazing, warm community. I've seen many transgender people that are more passionate than anyone else. Um, More gay people contributing to this world. Um, I open my eyes to a lot of things, and I hope that people will get to that point where instead of listening and being followers, they decide to individually uh, research something for themselves and use their mind and some bit of their education to allow this to take place in their mind, to accept it.
Right.
I think it's
Yeah.
important to raise our children in such a community to learn, to evolve, to accept, rather than to block something and make a fanatical, religious attempt towards it. That's how I see it.
Right. So I couldn't agree with you more. So I'm going to basically say the takeaway here is, come on, people, open your minds up, allow yourself to be more open-minded, and allow yourself to learn more about these topics before casting an opinion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If someone is out there trying to protect you while you're sitting on your couch with your potatoes and your beer in your hand, and you're not contributing to your country, but you call yourself a patriot, a citizen, think about it. That person that you're making fun of, that person that you want to detach from society, is right now in a combat zone protecting your life, so you can't sit on that couch or in your mother's basement or other things trolling on the internet trying to um, make comments and judgments over those that are protecting your life. Open your mind, study, research. Don't be followers. That's the main thing I tell my kids. That's the main thing I can tell anyone else. That's the best advice. Open your mind and research, not just about this topic, about many things in life.
Perfect. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better. So with that said, guys, we're going to come to an end of this amazing podcast today. I hope this information was helpful to all of you. I hope it helped open your minds a little bit. And let's just embrace the people that are fighting for our freedom, regardless of who they are, right? So with that said, guys, make sure you get out there and find us all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and of course, YouTube. Find us everywhere. We're out there. So with that said, Maz, thanks so much for a great podcast, and we will catch you all next time.
Thank you, Teresa. Talk to you later.
Definitely.
Bye-bye.